Beauty!
Guys in the Gulf.
Righto, you going to do introductions again?
Yeah, no, you send it, mate.
Righto, guys. Welcome to episode 3 of Guys in the Gulf. Thanks for everyone that's sticking around with us.
It's good to be here, mate. I'm Mikey Cunningham. This is my mate Ash Garner.
Yep, and we started this podcast a couple of weeks ago now, so it's going pretty good, mate. I'm feeling a lot better about it than I was the first time we sat in here and kicked it off.
Yeah.
But it's going pretty good.
Yeah, well, even episode 2, like, we just seemed to flow a bit better. There was no cuts in it either, where episode 1, I spent a lot of time in editing, sort of going through where we're like, oh, what are we up to again? You know, so, but like episode 2, 0 cuts, and it was good just to have a sit down and have a yarn and just have a chat, just like we usually would.
Yeah, that's it, and hopefully, obviously, as we get, down the road a bit, we'll get, hopefully just get better and better, and it'll become sort of more natural, and trying to,
Yeah, so people have been listening on Spotify. You can watch us on YouTube. We are on other streaming platforms as well, but those are the 2 main ones.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Get amongst them. Share them with your friends.
Make sure you hit that like and share and subscribe. Especially on your Spotify and things like that. Make sure you click the little dots there and go in and automatically download episodes. Okay, so that way. You always have them when you're travelling around. You go in bush, out of phone range or whatever. They're always there. So
well, when we first started, that was one of the things I had envisaged is when people are driving up from, say, Melbourne, 4 days drive or whatever, to come up here.
Yeah.
Like you'll have a group of 3 blokes in the car and just have 4 of our podcasts downloaded, and they'll just be listening, just absorbing content from this region as they drive up and getting all hyped up about their trip. That's what I envisaged when we first started this podcast.
Hopefully, they can learn something too. So.
You never know, mate. maybe from you.
Oh no, I think we go all right, mate. So massive thanks to all those people that subscribed and watched the YouTube channel and downloaded the podcast on Spotify. Especially we got one lonely bloke from Belgium, okay? So special shout out to old mate from Belgium.
If you're in the stats, it's like 99.9% of our listeners are from Australia. And then
one from Belgium. So, if you're still listening, mate, make sure you send us a message, send us a DM or something like that on our Facebook page. Jump on there, Guys in the Gulf on Facebook, and send us a direct message, mate, and see if we can't do something for you. So, that's pretty cool. So. What's been happening this week, mate?
Oh, look, well, you and I went fishing yesterday.
We did go fishing yesterday, mate. That was pretty good day on the water.
Yeah, well, it's always eventful anyway. Yeah, so you'd been to work, so.
Well, I tried to go to work, so we went.
The plan was.
Yeah, the plan was to go out and then meet each other out after I finished work. But obviously, I left a couple of hours before you, about 3 hours or so before you, so I could go and do my run and then meet you sort of as the tide was nearly the top of the tide, which I ended up getting down the river and just. Because the way the weather and everything is here, and as we spoke about, I think in that first episode, things can impact the tides and stuff here. So when I got down there wasn't quite enough water to get to all my pots, so I had a very quick run around, and then ended up going to our rendezvous point and doing a bit of fishing whilst you got out, but it was very, very shallow getting out.
Yeah, mate. Well, so I don't know how you got out. Your boat must need no water, because when I came out 2 hours after you, which was probably only an hour and a half before the high. So there should have been plenty of water coming in. Like some of the spots I went through were 300 deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I'm on the plane, just praying that I don't get real shallow water. I'm just holding on for dear life. Every now and then going like just hitting the bottom. I'm like, I'm turning around. There's all mud coming up. I'm like, please don't be a log. Please don't be a log. Yeah, so
it was that's sort of a crabber's life a fair bit though, mate. Always in the shallow water, and
you'd never do that on a dropping tide though. You don't want to be in a spot like that if it's a dropping tide. No. The only reason I was doing what I did was I knew the tide was still coming in. So if you do get stuck, it'll be 20 minutes, a little bit more water will come in, and you'll be able to go out. Yeah.
And that's the thing on those flats too, because it is very flat there. So if you do get stuck anywhere, as soon as you get a few inches of water, then you'll be right to go the whole rest of the way. So the big thing is, I suppose, when you are doing those sorts of things, if you know where you're going, you know there's no rocks or anything like that, you just, if you can stay up on the plane and plane the whole way through those sections.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you come off the plane, obviously, you're not going to get back on the plane again in that shallow water. And in fact, in my boat, like if I had to come off the plane when I was travelling out, I wouldn't have moved at all, because I was probably only in, 6 inches of water at best. So I had my engine trimmed all the way up, and I had a rooster tail out the back, which was mostly just mud, mate. So I was, aquaplaning pretty much across the top of the mud flats there, but made it out and. Got into one of the little coastal creeks that we planned to meet at.
Yeah, that was the plan, to go into some hidden little coastal creeks that we discovered only recently.
Yeah, maybe this year.
Yeah, and
so we've talked about that heaps of times about, you live here a lifetime, you're always finding new spots, and that was one of them. Doing a job earlier this year, we bloody found that
on the way home. Yeah,
found that creek on the way home, and got a few barras there that time. So thought we'd go back and have a look. It was fairly different conditions this time, different time of year as well.
Yeah.
But
I remember the water being crystal clear last time.
Yeah.
But this time it was really dirty.
Yeah, it was a bit
even
dirty,
though the tide was coming in. Yeah.
Yeah, I think just because those big storms and stuff out to sea, and we've had a lot bigger tides, although it wasn't a big tide yesterday. A lot bigger tides of a night time have been washing that dirty water, making that water real dirty out the front, and obviously that's running into those smaller creeks and making them dirty. So it was completely different to earlier in the year, which was sort of still the dry season almost,
Yeah.
So it was fairly different, but we had a pretty good time in there. Had a look around. We got a couple of fish in there, and
the first fish of the day was a barra. I think from you.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I
a little rat.
When I first got there before you arrived, I'd got one queenie there out the front, just while I was waiting, and then once you arrived, then I jumped in with you, and then we cruised up that creek, and then that's right, we went up there and got one little rat and got it on the Alpha Yabby, mate. The little Yabby. So I was pretty stoked about that, on the chopper rod as well. So pretty sure. Yeah, it was on the chopper rod. And then straight up next that was undersized, that barra. But then straight up next cast got a little flathead as well. So which we don't normally get any flathead here. Well, very rarely get flathead. Although last time we were in that creek, I think we got. Yeah, you got flathead. Yeah. So
well, that's what those Alpha Yabbies were designed for flatty fishing. So yeah.
Yeah, flathead and whiting and whatever, but obviously I follow them guys, and
they're made by Alpha Blokes. The Alpha Blokes podcast. They've started making lures.
Alpha lures. Yep. So they got the Alpha Yabby. So this is the OG one, the pink sort of coloured one. I think we got a couple of different ones out now, but I bought a few packs of them because the guy that actually makes them, Lure Labs, is the fella's name. He was on the podcast there a while back. And
we listened to it together, that one.
Yeah, and then I've actually bought his lures before, and we used them on the houseboat, and they were going off.
That was one of the best houseboat sessions, well, probably the best houseboat session we've ever had.
Yeah, we got a heap.
I reckon we were even joking about it while we were videoing, and I remember saying that we could edit this as we recorded for an hour, and it was just fish after fish, barra,
double hook up after double hook ups.
And I was like, we could just leave this unedited,
Yeah, it would have been a good one to live stream, that one.
Yeah.
there was Barra everywhere that night, but those Lure Labs lures, they were unreal.
Yeah.
A few different sizes and types as well.
Yeah, so, the little tiny curly tails up to some bigger paddle tails, were they?
Some paddle tail ones, and then there was also the jerk shad type.
Oh, so, that's right, with the little tiny fork on the end.
Yeah, sort of like your gulps or Z-mans and things like that. But that colour, that light green sort of colour with that fleck in it, that was working real well that night, mate. So we got amongst that. So so we fished in those creeks there. Got a big queenie. That was on the goal. I thought it was a barra at first, so I'd hit. But there was something buffering up in these snags, and I was pretty confident it was a big barra sitting in there. And as the boat sort of manoeuvred around a bit, and I was sitting up the front and flicked in behind this snag and a couple of twitches and woof, and I thought I had a real good barra at first. I was very excited and swam straight back towards us under the boat, out to the back, and then jumped and realised it was a bloody queenie, but still was pretty good fish.
Yeah, so, in the footage, of course, you can see I'm unhooking a catfish in the background.
But yeah, no, that was a good fish still to get in. And
into tiny creek as well.
Yeah, very, very, very tight country. So
big fish in a small creek.
Yeah. So no, it was good fun.
And the storm started building around us.
Yeah, storm started building around us. Although we went out of that creek and then we went back around to the next one. And you got a barra.
I got a little one there. Yeah. Oh well, when I say little, it was 54.5 centimetres. Yeah. I was spewing.
Well, that was all right still.
Yeah, so here in the Northern Territory, 55 is our legal size limit for Barramundi, so 54.5.
Yeah, couldn't quite stretch him, so but that was all right. We come back out the front and mucked around for a bit. You might have got some drone shots and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, I did, and it's so different for just travelling a little bit further. And where we are, like just if you just pop out of the MacArthur, it's just all mangroves and mud. Where this was some sand and it's different
nice
colours.
country.
Yeah, it looks just, we're only a few kilometres away, but it's so different.
Yeah, no, it was really, really nice country in there though, and there's some good creeks in there. We went down to the other one, another creek down, and had a look in there, and then just sort of slowly came back towards home, and then pulled up at one spot on the way home, which we've fished at a few times before, and. The water I didn't think was going to be any good, but when we got there, it actually looked almost perfect. So we pulled up and had a bit of a fish there, and then ended up getting a few barra in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so ended up getting. I think I got 4 barra there, 3 legal size and 1 undersize.
Yeah.
So 3 legal ones only sort of just legal, sort of 57 to 59. But yeah, good, really nice fish. So nice, clean silver fish.
This is all allegedly. No GoPro on his boat, so there's no evidence of this.
Yeah. I wasn't real impressed. 3 barras in 3 casts. And
you got three legal barra in 3 casts. Yeah. And I'm still sitting over here like getting snagged, losing lures, re-rigging over here. Haven't even had a cast yet.
No, so that was good fun, mate. Sitting there, we ended up being there for probably an hour and a half.
Yeah, I ended up getting a couple of barra there as well.
Oh, you did after that. Yeah, you got a couple of barras. So we took you off suicide watch after that, mate. So that was good. Good afternoon, mate. And decided to pack it in with the storms bloody rolling in.
In every direction around us.
Decided to start heading home and. Got most of the way, and then just
opened up
wall of black in front of us, and we slowed down. I offered Mikey a jacket, but he assured me he was all right. So we kept poking along steady. It was
the best shower I've had in months.
Absolutely belted down. Absolutely, not for real long, probably only 15, 20 minutes or something, but absolutely belted down.
It was bad enough. I couldn't travel fast. I still had the bimini down from fishing. So when I was travelling on the plane, like I couldn't, like the wall of water hitting my face. It was like being sandblasted. I had to stop and get the bimini up, and then I could stand under the bimini and stay on the plane, and just stay out. Just the water coming there, the bimini protected me a little bit.
Well, that's it. People that haven't experienced it before, like when you get those tropical storms like that, the rain is like we've just been out in the sun. It's 45 degrees plus, 100% humidity.
Yep.
Dead calm, dead still. And then you get under one of those storms and the temperature drops to below 20 straight away. And then it starts raining. And when it rains, the raindrops aren't like normal raindrops. They're huge. You almost think it's hailing sometimes.
Yeah.
And if you're driving in a boat or something like that, or a motorbike or anything outside, and you're getting hit by those raindrops, it hurts like it's hailing on you. So it's not real fun, but cooled us down and give the boats a bit of a clean out anyway. So, with that, we've had actually a really good start to the wet season this year after they've predicted that it wouldn't be that good.
That's right.
We've only had, the last week we've had, 3 or 4 days of good rain. And when I say good rain, really good rain, I mean, a couple of days ago we got 40 mils in the morning in the downpour, and then in the afternoon we got another inch or so in the afternoon. So
well, typically one of the sort of local phrases that we use here is like, we don't really get, the rain doesn't really start until Boxing Day.
Yeah.
So anything before that's really a bonus. Like usually it's just a storm here or little scattered storms and that. But we've had genuine rain. It's actually
proper rain. Yeah. And it's I mean, it was sort of predicted. Lately, it's been predicted that we're going to have big rain, but the overall season outlook hasn't looked that great for a good wet season. Which was a bit concerning to start with. But now we've had heaps, and actually the other day I was in the boat just organised, loaded up, fueled up, ready to go to work, and that first big storm rolled in, and it just absolutely belted down and just didn't look like any signs of slowing down. Checked out the weather radar. There's lightning everywhere on the satellite infrared radar, and it's lightning all around, and still building up behind it. So with a few concerns, I packed it in for a while and thought I'd go home. On the way home, guys that were staying at our lodge there, they'd gone out in choppers that day to go fishing. So when they left, it was clear blue skies almost. So they still had all their stuff out in the backyard, sort of thing, in the back of the utes, and so quickly ran home, found a tarp, and covered all their stuff up, their angles and all their spare beers and all their gear. So covered that up, and then they got back. They'd had a big storm up where they were fishing, and then when they got back, only one chopper came back, and ended up working out that they had a flat battery, and the other one they couldn't get it started, and it was parked on the beach. So
with the tide coming in.
With the tide coming in, although I think they would have been pretty safe, But they needed a 24-volt jump pack or something to get the machine started again. So we ended up pulling a couple of batteries out of the boat and getting a couple of sets of jump leads for them so they could jump start that machine and get it back home, which they did. But in the in between all this, obviously they had to refuel the first chopper and drove the Toyota with the drums on the back straight out into the black soil behind the lodge and got bogged to the to the doors.
It's amazing, that black soil. As soon as you get some water in it, it just if you go under that crust, it's just turned into soup below it.
Oh, that's it. And it is a bit of a watercourse out there, and you get 40 mils like that straight up. It's bloody it just turns to soup straight away if you drive on it and you break that crust. You're right. We've been there ourselves a few times, haven't we, Mikey? It was one New Year's Eve a few years ago. I do recall.
It was a bullfrog trip.
Yeah, it was a bullfrog trip. That's right. But the common saying around here when it starts getting wet is if you're off the red, you're dead. So if you're off the red dirt, the hard compacted soil, you're going to get bogged. So you got to be pretty careful with that. But we got him out eventually after. Well, I hooked my Toyota up with a winch and.
Yeah.
Winched him for about 15 minutes and, moved him a few metres forward and just couldn't quite pop it out of the ground there. So I come and asked you for some assistance. You brought your ute around and hooked up the snatch strap and still, couldn't quite get him budged. So removed all our vehicles and tried to pull him out backwards after disconnecting his trailer and pushing that out of the road. Ended up hooking up backwards and tried to pull him out backwards to no avail, again with a winch and snatch strap.
Yeah.
And then, luckily, a couple other guys turned up and they had a Ram 1500, which is all done up and a lot heavier than probably both our cars put together. So.
Yeah, with a 5.7 litre
Hemi. The big Ram. So it was all, fully tuned too. Had a nice note to it. And after we broke Mikey's snatch strap, he had a brand new one there, much bigger snatch strap and a bit longer, and got a big run up.
He went full send.
He did go full
send. We'll upload the little snippet, eh?
We'll put a little snippet there, so when this comes out, check out our Facebook page,
He committed.
Fully committed, Like I said to Mikey, well, he's either going to get the tow bar or the ute, one or the other, so something's definitely coming anyway. So
so it turns out the fellow that did that, he's a fellow YouTuber.
Is that we're talking to him at the pub?
Sunburn fishing, So for years, I've sort of had the monopoly here, like for making YouTube videos. It's like people come all the time and they'll make a video of their trip to here or their trip fishing here, or they spend a week here and that. Then they'll upload it. But for someone that actually makes them regularly here, if anyone ever types in the words MacArthur River, Borroloola, King Hatch Bay, Peelu Islands, anything like that, and like all my videos will just stack up, But Sunburn fishing, turns out someone else has is come onto my ground.
Yeah. So he's been here plenty of times before, and so we were just talking about it earlier. He chases big barra. That's his main thing. So loves his big fish. So and he seems to be pretty bloody good at it too. So
absolutely, yeah.
We got through some photos with him last night.
Yeah, had a few beers with him, and
I think yesterday he went out and he got first troll he got a
96. I think it's on his Instagram. You can see it. Thumbburn fishing.
Yeah, Thumbburn, not sunburn. Thumbburn.
Thumbburn, one word.
So that's the name of his boat too. So he's just been up the Roper and the Lemon, fishing up there again, chasing big barra. And then now he's here for about a week, and I think there's maybe a chance we might try and do a collab with him or something like that.
I think so, yeah, hopefully, we'll take a couple of boats out.
Yeah, take a couple of boats out.
If you jump in with me and get... he's got his son here, or one of his sons here at the moment as well, who also loves catching big barra.
Yeah, well, don't we all? But
some are more successful at it than others. And,
he definitely seems to have the good oil on where the big girls are at. I think he uses his sounder a lot, which is something that some people do, some people don't, and like myself, well, in my work boat, I don't even have a transducer on my work boat at the moment, I don't tend to rely on it too much. I prefer to fish like you and I were yesterday, where we're, up a small creek or on the, rock bar or something like that, and we're flicking lures and we're almost sight fishing for barras. So
hunting around, casting in places you think, there's a nice looking stag there on a ledge, I can imagine a barra being there, so you cast into there, that sort of thing. That's just hunting around for them.
Yeah, that's our sort of preferred method. However, having said that, obviously the technology is there, it's available for people. So like Thumbburn, he's obviously got a decent sounder in his boat, and he actually goes along and marks good fish, watches what they're doing, seeing where they are in the water column, if they're right at the bottom or in the mid water at the top, and then works out what lures to use, and then mostly I think trolling, which is obviously if you want those big girls, you pretty much live baiting or trolling is the way to do it. Obviously I've only ever got 1 metre, but that was cast and retrieve, but again that was in a small rock bar where water's pushing in over a shallow section, and the barras stack up there. But in the the channels of the big rivers and things, I think you pretty much have to be trolling. You have to get those lures right down.
And he doesn't. I don't think he looks for like 1 or 2 fish. Like he's looking for groups of fish,
schools,
and then he'll constantly troll, just annoy the crap out of him. Until one decides to take the lure.
Yeah, so he's been looking around the last few days, and he reckons there's plenty of big barras hanging around at the moment.
Down towards the mouth.
So, and this time of year, obviously, for people that don't know, if you haven't done any barra fishing maybe, and you're just listening to this, maybe old mate from Belgium hasn't caught a barra before. So what happens is, Barramundis change their sex, okay? So all Barramundi are born male, and then once they reach a certain size, around that sort of 50 to 60 centimetres, they turn female. So, and they need to be in the salt water to do that. And then they breed at this time of year. So October, November, December, that's when they're spawning. So they're breeding. The barras are getting it on.
Yeah. So they head down towards the mouths.
So they head down to the mouths of the rivers. They need salt water. So they can only breed in salt water. So that's why you have impoundment fishing and stuff like that. There's a lot of them in Queensland, central Queensland, North Queensland. A lot of impoundment fishing, even at Mount Isa. They've got the lake there, which you can go and catch barra at, but they're all stocked. They don't. Barra can't breed in the fresh water.
A metre barra there will still be a male.
Yeah,
and that's why I call them bull barramundi. They've got those huge shoulders on them. They look like bulls.
And 20, 30, 40 kilo fish. So, but that's why they get bigger as well, because they're not swimming in the currents and things like that. They're in impoundments or whatever. But they're all stocked. They're all those dams and lakes and things like that. They're all stocked fish, because you do need salt water for barramundis to reproduce. And the reason for that is that the eggs, when the eggs are first released, what happens is they need the salinity levels of the water to be high enough so that the eggs are buoyant. Okay, so in fresh water, the eggs aren't buoyant enough. then they'll sink and die. Whereas in salt water, if the salinity's hot, high at a high enough level, the eggs will float, and then they can drift off at high tides up into the mangrove forests and things like that at the mouths of the big rivers. And that's where they breed up.
So I wonder in the freshwater if they still try. They still lay the eggs and they just sink and die.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll have to.
Any marine biologists out there, just let us know.
Let us know. Call in, email in. So that's what happens with Barra. I think there's other fish that do it as well, but. Barra definitely. What are they called? Hermaphrodites. They change sex.
Oh yeah. There's a name for it.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, they do change sex. So they're all born male and they turn to female, and that's why the big fish are this time of year, towards the end of the year, build up time, wet season time. Those big girls, they're down at the mouths of the rivers reproducing. So and then what happens is obviously as the wet season comes in, all the rivers rise. And with that high water, the barras can swim back upstream and get back up into their freshwater billabongs and things like that, and back to their home where they live throughout the dry season. But they need that river flow, that high water to get back up there again. So so your last big barra was a fair while ago.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get one in men's sizes, eh? There was a comment on the video somewhere.
Yeah. It's funny because you do get negative comments every now and then, but this one, it's definitely a negative comment, but I actually found it really funny. It's clever as well. Someone literally messaged, it was Ash Night, we did, you mean Young Boy. I reckon it might have been that video, and we're out there. Yeah. We caught I think the biggest one was a 70, your last fish.
Yeah.
Was a 70 something, and we caught some legal fish that day. But none of them were big girls, So this one fella pipes up and says, do you guys catch any barra in men's sizes? I'm like, oh man. So that's
it's all right. We can take a bit of shit.
Yeah.
We can take
we're all right. We're happy with ourselves.
Absolutely, mate. So
So what's been in the news this week?
Mate, I just had a look yesterday. There's the Sea Rangers and Parks and Wildlife have won an award. So firstly, so for those people that don't know, we've got the Sea Ranger unit here.
Yeah. So there's Sea Rangers all across the Northern Territory.
Yep.
But this was specifically our ones here.
Yeah. So our Sea Rangers are?
They're the Liantha Wiriata, which means people of the sea. That's in Yanua, Liantha Wiriata.
Yeah, so our Sea Rangers here, they've teamed up with Parks and Wildlife and a couple of others, and they've been out doing some seagrass surveys, and they've just won an award for mapping that. So it's the Territory Natural Resources Management Collaborative Research Award for 2023.
Sea mapping surveys.
Seagrass mapping
surveys. So, what on earth is that?
So they employed the help of a mothership, came down from up the Cape somewhere, a big cat style, I think charter vessel, but the fishing charter vessel that had their season finished. They came down from at the top of the Cape somewhere, and basically they went out for a week or 2 weeks, and went right along the coast from here, basically from around the MacArthur River area right up to nearly the Roper, I think, basically mapped portions of seagrass, and basically I think just trying to get a better understanding of where the seagrass is, where it's not, so that way they can manage things like dugongs and sea turtles and all those things, manage those habitats for those creatures that rely on it, because obviously dugongs are called sea cows for a reason. They eat the seagrass.
Yeah.
And so do turtles, and they want to map those areas and get an understanding of where they are, so that way later on down the track they can go back and have a look and compare. So is that seagrass getting better, or is it declining, and then they can manage things from there. So big shout out to those guys for winning that award. That was well done. Top effort. So anything like that happens in the area is always good. So and for those people that don't know, so we've got Sea Rangers. So that's the sort of stuff that Sea Rangers do. I know I've had quite a few tourists say, what are the Sea Rangers? People we've heard about the Sea Rangers. What do they do? So they do all manner of things, and it's not just on sea country. They do on the islands and
managing wild pigs and
pigs, and they manage all fishing as well. So they can maybe inspect people's fishing catches and stuff like that. They do all sorts of research. So I know sometimes the boys, the commercial mud crabbers, will take one of the sea rangers on the boat with them for a few days and do surveys of mud crab stocks. So they'll literally count how many males, how many females, how many undersized crabs
out of every pot.
So and they'll do over the course of a week with several guys working on several vessels. They'll do several hundred or 1,000 pot lifts and work out. So and they do it every year, sometimes a couple of times a year.
Yeah.
And again, that way they can manage the stocks there. So obviously, if they do that for they've been doing it for the last 4 or 5 years now. If they they do it again next year, and there's a downward trend of population of a species, then they can manage that. So they can restrict fishing or whatever needs to be done. So they work in with the territory government and the NT government's fisheries and water police and all other people as well. So they do a pretty good job down here, and
so they're all Indigenous staff there.
So it's all Indigenous ranges. So we've got them all throughout the Northern Territory. I think they've probably got them interstate as well. I'm not sure, but so all throughout the territory. So not just sea country, on land as well. They do it as well. So all the desert country and that, they have their Aboriginal range and Indigenous ranges. That make sure everything's going right in their neck of the woods, and they use their methods, their own methods of land conservation and things like that as well. So, working hand in hand with, sort of our way of dealing with things like feral animals and pests and things like that, and then they have their way of dealing, cultural ways of doing things like cultural burning and things like that they do. So. That's basically.
Just jogged a memory for me with pests. A fellow that I ran into at the bar down here a few weeks back now, he was saying him and his son drove out at night and used thermal optics or whatever, the one that you can see animals and that. Is that thermal?
Yeah.
And he said they come across a lot of cats. And you certainly don't see them during the day. I drive all around around here, and you don't see them, but he reckons at night they saw heaps of them.
So for sure.
That's a problem, because how much wildlife they kill.
Yeah, for sure, and I think that's one thing at King Ash Bay is no cats allowed.
Yeah, absolutely, so, not here. So if you're ever visiting, you can bring your dog, but no cats.
No cats allowed, mate. So that's for good reason too, because that's what happens. They cats get out and then they go and breed and they kill all the lizards and skinks and birds and everything. So that's another thing the sea rangers do as well. They trap cats and things like that on the islands and get rid of those, and cane toads and things like that. So anyone that's been here, been down to the Barra and had a look, there's actually signs there saying don't take cats to the islands or anything. Obviously we've got the National Park there at North Island, but that goes for all islands. And obviously most of those islands here, all those islands here are private property as well. So people shouldn't be going out there without permission anyway, but certainly if you are going out there, you're not allowed to take any cats out there. You don't want to get them out there. So what else has been going on?
Oh, look, on my way out yesterday, when I was going out to meet you, on the way out, past a group of boats, all just sitting there. They didn't look like they were in distress or anything, but they were just sitting there having a yarn or whatever. And I drove past, give them the big wave, like you do, and they all just stared at me. Even afterwards, I gave them the thumbs up, and still nothing. They look at me as if I violated them.
Mate, it's one of my pet hates, and I'm on the river every day.
And that's why I brought it up, was I know for a long time you can't stand non-waivers.
Mate, it's very frustrating. I mean, most people around here are pretty happy, and everyone's just saying g'day, and mate, it's no different to being on the road as well. Like you drive down the highway in the territory and you wave to everyone. I think maybe they're Victorians, but I don't know.
We promised we wouldn't say too much negative about Victorians.
I don't put too much shit on anyone, but I think they're Victorians. Anyway.
I guarantee it.
Yeah. But no, if you're travelling, you're travelling up here on the road, you wave to people. It's just, just say g'day. This is the way of saying g'day without saying g'day.
Yeah.
And you're in the boat, like, there's no one for a million miles. You might only see one boat a day. It's not hard just to, lift one finger and just, or tip the hat as people go past. It's really not that hard.
And there's so much communication in that simple little wave. It's not just a hello. It's a, yep, everything's good here, mate.
Yeah.
And then they wave back. It means, yep, all good. Pardon me.
Yeah, so it's that's a very, very frustrating thing. I get really frustrated when people don't wave.
Yeah.
And I've nearly pulled up a few times.
Turned around and said,
hey mate, what's going on?
Do you see me wave or not?
It's not hard just to say good day, but it's like people backing their car down the middle of a boat ramp. So, King Ash Bay, we've got a 2-lane boat ramp, and fair enough. Some people aren't the best at reversing, but if it's peak
I have been known to utilise the zigzag method on the way down. Nah, I go all right.
Most of the time. No, it is difficult for some people, especially some of the nomads and stuff. They have they got big trucks, F-150s, F-250s, that sort of thing, or 200 series Land Cruiser, and their tinny's only 3.7, and they're only 1.5 meters wide, so they're very hard to see in the mirrors at times, But yeah, it is a very frustrating thing too when people back down the middle of the bloody boat ramp.
2-lane boat ramp.
And even more frustrating than that, they back down the middle of the boat ramp, then they stop, and then they start unloading the stuff out of their car and putting it in their boat, taking the strap off, all those sorts of things. Yeah. That's another very, very, very frustrating thing that happens here, mate.
Yeah. Well, on crab load up day, I should have plenty of footage of that to show you. But yeah, crab load up day when the big truck reverses down the boat ramp there and all the crabbers come in. Like, you guys just take up half the ramp. 1 day a week for an hour, you take up half the ramp. People can still people get a bit shy, so we always have to sort of wave them down. But the half of the ramp is still 100% open. So you haven't taken up the whole ramp, even though there's a big truck there. Yeah,
for sure. So yeah, even the truck only needs one side, mate.
Yeah.
And obviously some of the boats, because when we for those people that don't know, just to give you a bit of a visual of it. So when we're loading crabs onto the truck, there's about 8-9 boats that load most weeks. So the truck literally backs all the way down the boat ramp. Until it's almost in the water, so that way we can pull our work boat straight up to the back doors of the truck, and we can all the boys jump in the back of the truck, and one boat at a time comes in, and we literally lift our crab crates with our crabs in it into the back of the truck. They're all live. They're all still live, tied up in baskets with wet hessian on them. They get loaded into the back of the truck. We take our empty crates and fresh hessian bags and all that bait out of the back of the truck, put it in our boats, and then the next guy comes in. And so when there's a bit of a line up at the boat ramp on those mornings when we're loading, we always make sure in between boats unloading crabs, we make sure if there's a line up there, we pull up for a minute, let a couple of boats come through, move out of their road so they can get that line down. And it's all just about being courteous. It's just boat ramp etiquette, and you really know the tourists here, because there's generally the people that start yelling and carrying on and waving their arms around. And
it's 1 hour a week. That's the only time you're there.
Oh, well, that's it. And it's you see it. When it's peak season, there's a lot of people here. You got 150 cars or 150 boats going out during the day, and everyone wants to go at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning as the sun's coming up. You get a line up there, and always you get people arguing and carrying on down there for absolutely no reason, where it's much easier if you're lined up and you're bloody 10 cars back, jump out of your Toyota, walk down and give blokes a hand for a minute. Especially you have some fellas, they're getting on in life, and they just want to go and do a bit of fishing. They're retired. You're retired. You're on holidays. There's no need to get upset about it. Just take it easy. Go down and give someone a hand, especially if they're doing it by themselves. In the dry season, we've got wind blowing up the river, and it's hard to get boats back on the trailer and things like that. So
shout out to Mel and Marco that from earlier in the year. Remember them? They spent hours each afternoon down at the boat ramp. Their boat's still there, they haven't even put theirs on their trailer yet, and they're just there. Every person that comes in, they just go hook in, help them get it on. And we're like, oh, you guys right? Just, no, we're just helping the people get their boats on. Mel and Marco, I reckon from Oh, Uralla in New South Wales.
Yeah.
So we met them for the first time this year. They just come up.
They were top blokes too.
Yeah, we had good fun. Hopefully see them again next year.
Yeah, for sure, mate. They were.
I'll get them on the podcast. They'll have a few yarns, I'm certain.
Oh, mate, yeah, I reckon that's been some real good yarns, them fellas.
Yeah.
So that's it goes without saying most of the time, but you travel all the way up here, you spend 2, 3, 4 days in the vehicle getting here, and you're here on holidays or you're retired. There's no need to be rushing around at the boat ramp and arguing and carrying on with other people down there. If somebody's taking a bit too long, go and ask them if they're all right. Go give them a hand. Somebody's struggling to back their car down, you can politely ask them if they want a hand doing it.
Don't just go straight to negative, you're on holidays, just chill.
Yeah, or some blokes, you see them just rip blokes out of the car, and I'll bloody do it for you, I'll show you how to do it, whatever. And them ones tend to be the worst ones as well. So
my wife Jazzy, she's what's the word for it? Like shy, not shy, like. She's not overly confident at reversing, but if there's no audience, she can do it. She takes a few times, but she can do it. But if there's an audience around, she'll literally just walk up to, like, I'll be in the boat ready to drive it on, and she's gone up to reverse the car back. And if there's people there, she'll literally walk up to Blake and just give them the keys. and they're like, oh, okay. And then they'll reverse down and I'll drive it on, Yeah, so definitely, a bit of stage fright almost,
Yeah, well, my missus is the same, Katie can do it perfectly fine, no worries at all. She just doesn't have the confidence.
The confidence, that's what I was looking for.
When people are there watching, when there's an audience, she's exactly the same. She just doesn't have the confidence to jump in and do it. Although, I mean, sometimes she doesn't have a choice because I'm in the boat and I just needed to happen. Sometimes, we're fairly busy, got things on and need to get it happening. But I think that lack of confidence for some people stems from being at the boat ramp and seeing people get the shits with other people and carry on, and when there's absolutely no need for it. So boat ramp etiquette, guys.
Yeah.
And if you've got any yarns about it, any funny stories, anything like that,
or even better, any videos.
Videos, anything. Yeah, that's it, mate. So if you've got any funny yarns, any videos, anything like that, photos, you can send us in. Make sure you do it. Yeah, get amongst it. So actually, we were down there earlier, this year, and we were down there loading crabs, and you came down just to say good day, have a coffee or whatever, and the houseboat, there was a tinny off the back of it, mate.
Oh, yes.
That's
the thing. To see over in the distance, there's a boat sitting upside down behind a houseboat. I'm like, oh, that shouldn't be like that. And so
rather than just sitting there and taking photos like everyone else. And
I can't believe how people just whip their phone out and start taking photos of someone else's misfortune. It frustrates me. Yeah.
So we went and seen if they were right, and they were working out some insurance stuff and whatever, and. Ended up giving them fellas a hand. They were packing up to go home that day, and they had a fair bit on. So, we just jumped in there and give them a hand, and got their boat over into the shallow water, and actually all the crabbers, all the guys there, jumped in, and we managed to right the boat, get it upright again, and get it up into shallow water. Bucket the water out, and
hundreds of litres out in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, get it floating again, and recovered it all and got it back on the trailer for them, and so they could sort the rest of their stuff out. But things like that, like that's just, I think it's just the way it is here. Certainly with us and most people you get here is like that. But there are things to keep in mind anyway when you go to places like this. If you see somebody else has had a bit of misfortune, go and give them a hand.
Yeah.
There's no need to carry on. And speaking of giving a hand, we're just in our pack-up stage here at the club, mate.
Yep.
And I think we've got a job on. We're going to go down and on this bend to King Ash Bay before. Would know we've got big shade sails that cover our bar area. So at Groper's Bar and Grill, there's a big pole in the centre of the area there, and it supports shade sails. It covers the whole place so that you're out of the sun. But this time of year, obviously, we've got to pull those down and pack those up for the wet season. So if we get big storms or heaven forbid a cyclone coming through or something like that, so they don't all get destroyed during the wet season, and remove all the speakers and stuff off that pole. And
it all needs to be done before big storms hit. I reckon you might have been there as well one night. when the shade sails were still up and a storm came through, and it actually ripped some of the shade sails, and there's all these metal shackles and that flapping around, and everyone's huddled in behind the bar. We're planning to work and be, are we?
I think so, mate. Yeah. So the next couple of days, we're going to a few fellas. We're going to get stuck into that. Actually, one fella here, Frank, he's right onto it. He's very experienced. He's done it plenty of times. Always lends a hand. So between him and William, our vice president, and us two buffaloes, mate, we can do some heavy lifting maybe for them, and go and get that packed up. And we already moved some of our beautiful new tables that Steve made for us this year. So anyone that was here late this year, or actually check out King Ash Bay Fishing Club Facebook Inc. page, and see our new bar top and our new bar tables that are in the area there, the eating area.
They're pretty special.
Really, really nice. I don't know what it is, a red gum or something like that he's made it out of.
Someone asked me last night, and I'm like,
I think it's red gum or something like that. It's from down Kalangadoo, from down South Australia. So. Steve got it all sent up for us, donated it all, got it sent up, cut it all in himself, bloody sanded it all, got it all nice, and then...
he spent a lot of hours on that.
Many hours on it, because he was doing it across from our place. And it's many hours getting it sorted, and he's done a great job with it, come up really, really good. He's actually got some... one of them's got some sections cut out, and then actually lures put in there with what they call epoxy resin. Yeah, so all nice fishing theme, and then another table's supposed to be the meatery table, so you're only supposed to sit there if you've caught a meatery before. So, but
supposedly you can get someone who has caught a meatery can invite you to that table. I don't make the rules, I just follow them. So we packed those up yesterday, didn't we? Or the day before yesterday, we packed those up and got them out of the rain, so they're not getting wet, and getting ready for set up again next year. Can't wait for the members to see a lot of the people that come up every year that would have already left by the time that all got installed. When they come up next year, they're gonna love it.
Especially a lot of our members wouldn't have socials and stuff as well. Wouldn't have Facebook and things, so they wouldn't have seen it yet. So
plus it's way better in person seeing it.
Oh, absolutely, it's awesome. I mean, I was there the night he finished it off. Finished coating it and stuff, and mate, it just looks absolutely unreal. So anyone that's been to King Ash Bay before would know we just used to have the sort of fairly standard sort of kitchen bench top, chipboard type bloody bar. Now we've got a proper heavy duty red gum bar, which looks sensational. So
let's talk about Spotify for a minute again. We're out on the houseboat and we'll listen to a few different songs. And I thought, you know what if I start a Golf Mud Crabbers playlist? So I put a few songs in there. I've made myself and Ash an admin, so Ash can add songs to it as well. But I've made it a public playlist. So if you go to Spotify, type in Golf Mud Crabbers, you should find the Golf Mud Crabbers playlist. And in there, you can just listen to the sort of things that we listen to. Every song in there, it has a meaning for us. Every single song has a story. A couple of them, it's just because we like them a lot and we listen to them for like 3 weeks straight. Like Kate McCannon by Coulter Wall, for example. You couldn't go anywhere without hearing that on Ash's boat or on my boat or at the bar, or we just had that playing everywhere.
Very, very. If you haven't heard of Coulter Wall, go and check him out. He is sensational.
Yeah, just a young fella, but he sounds like a 80-year-old. I don't know how to explain him.
He sounds like he's been smoking about 10 packs of cigarettes a day for the last 30 years. But turns out he's only a young fella. I think he's from Canada.
Either Canada or very north in America.
And he actually works as a station or ranch hand.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was what's his name? Joe Rogan tried to get him on the podcast, and then he's like, "Oh, well, maybe at the end of the season." But I've still got fences to fix, or
still mustering, mate. Rogan actually loves him, and
we would never have known it was we listen to Rogan, so we would never have found out about that song without Rogan,
well, he's definitely blown up now. Not quite as much as one of our other ones, Coulter Wall, mate. He's got Richmond, north of Richmond.
Yeah, what's his name? Oliver Anthony.
Yeah. So that's not even his real name.
No, because he was on Rogan.
Yeah.
And he spoke about that. Yeah, that was his father's or uncle's.
I think grandfather's.
Grandfather. Yeah.
Grandfather's name. So. But he's really good. Richmond, north of Richmond, and obviously everyone in the world's heard that song 16 million times now.
Yeah.
Because filmed on a iPhone 7 or something like that in his backyard.
Yeah, unreal story.
Yeah, and it's a great song too. Really good song. Actually, mate, I'm hoping to get to CMC Rocks next year.
Yeah.
He's actually come to CMC Rocks.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he's come to CMC Rocks. So he went from 5 months or so ago to apart from his mates and his family, no one knew him, to now like he's travelling the world doing his music.
Yeah, wow.
So everyone's heard of him. So,
so that's the sort of stuff that's on there. As we said, everything's got a story.
Mostly country.
There's a lot of country music in there. Yeah, we love Zach Bryan.
Yeah. Zach Brown.
Zach Brown. The
Luke
Zachs.
Bryan.
Yeah.
The Bryans, the Zacks, the Olivers, the Anthonys.
Luke Bryan, Luke Combs.
Yeah,
the
Luke
Lukes.
Combs, yeah.
Yeah.
We get amongst all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the sort of stuff. So if you're interested at all, just jump on there and have a look. Just out of curiosity, if you want to listen to what we listen to, we'll constantly be updating that.
Yeah.
We'll even take requests if you got a song that you know what sort of music we like.
It's got to be worthy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we won't just automatically add it. No, we've got to listen to it for like 4 weeks straight.
Yeah. It's going to be good. All right, mate. We had a cracker of a song this year, thanks to our Irish friends.
Oh, yeah. Maddie and Maeve.
Yeah. So obviously, this year, anyone that's been here this year would know that we've employed mostly backpackers to work as our bar staff and kitchen staff. So obviously, we've still got our bar managers and the kitchen managers and the management committee that run the place. But the actual, in terms of actual workers, we've had backpackers. So Canadians, English. And Irish.
Yeah.
And we had two Irish couples, so 4 Irish people here this year. But Maddie and Maeve, they were our first, and they put us on to that cracker of a tune, mate.
Bees Wing, mate.
Bees Wing, get amongst it.
There's a lot of versions on it. We happen to like the Whistling Donkeys version.
Yeah, that's I think. Well, that's the first one that I think we proper got into.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but that's a cracker of a song.
Yeah, it's not the original version. But it's all about the story and the lyrics and
music for us. So Mikey and I are a bit different. So like I like music purely for the story in it.
Ash listens to the words like from the beginning to the end. The first time he listens to a song, he'll get a connection with the words, like the lyrics. Yeah, with me, I'm more of a I'll listen for the song, like the music. Like I connect with the music, and then after that, that's when the lyrics come in. Usually afterwards, you'll say, I'll say I like the song. He goes, that's about a guy that went up the mountain and crashed his motorbike. I'm like, what? That was almost the story of where the wild things are. Luke Combs, his brother moved away, and ended up. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, another cracking song too.
That's in the list,
that is in the list. What was the other one that was in the list that we listened to? Bloody heaps.
Elvie Shane.
Sundress.
Sundress,
Yeah, that's
Is he coming to CMC Rocks?
Yes, he is. Yep.
Yes, I thought I saw his name there.
Yep, he's CMC Rocks 2024 as well. Yep. So I'm hoping. I've got tickets. I bought tickets. Try to con Mike into coming, but how
does that fit in around your Vegas trip?
Vegas trip, mate. It's just after, so it's the week after I get back. So, going to Vegas, obviously to watch the Broncos play, and now hopefully the Zoo brothers are going to be fighting.
Yeah, you got any updates on that from last week?
Not yet.
Confirmed anything?
No, I haven't seen any confirmation. There's a lot of chatter about it though, so they're really trying to make something happen. So I really hope they do, because that'd be unreal. And actually, if anyone's going to Vegas, if you're listening to this and you're going to Vegas to watch the Broncos play, send us a DM and we'll catch up. We'll have a beer. We'll do a podcast from Allegiant Stadium before the kickoff.
That'd be the go.
In all seriousness, if anyone's listening to this and you're going to Vegas for the footy or the fights, because I'm going. I mentioned in our first episode, I think, or our second episode, that I'm going to Vegas with my brother and my old man, and so obviously we're all keen to go watch the footy. They're not that keen on boxing, so if I go to the boxing, it'll be solo. So if anyone else is going over there and they're Or it just so happens if you're listening in Vegas, maybe you know, maybe got a few good tips for us. Maybe we go watch the boxing. So yeah, I'll be super keen to go have a look at that. I really hope they get something squared away for that, and then boys get amongst it. Yeah, booked all our flights now, so obviously our international flight's been booked for a while, but all our flights around the States and accommodation now. My brother just rang me yesterday and told me he's got it all sorted. So, so yeah, really looking forward to that.
Yeah. I've got to say thanks for lunch, mate.
Thanks for lunch.
Yeah.
Yes.
This allegedly caught 3 Barra in 3 casts yesterday.
Well,
not on camera, so it never happened.
I was
so
I was feeling a bit sorry for you, mate. So obviously I got 3 legal Barra yesterday, and being the end of the year, and I just about pull boats out and everything like that. So I thought I'd better try and keep a couple of fish for take up for Christmas up to Darwin. If I go up there to my brother's place for Christmas, better take some barras up there. So yeah, I kept a couple, and one I thought, I'll fill it one up today, and I'll make some lunch, make some wraps. I've been hanging for some fresh barra. So yeah, made some barra wraps. Got some stuff from the server here, mate. And I found they had these panko breadcrumbs. I love panko breadcrumbs, but they had these peri-peri style panko breadcrumbs.
Oh yeah.
So so that's what I used to crumb them. So yeah, but he just fill the barra.
They didn't taste like the bit of extra zing in them.
Yeah. So that was the peri-peri breadcrumbs, mate. They were very, very good.
And back to...
and then the sauce.
But Maddie and Maeve, the Irish backpackers, Maeve got us on... They came out and stayed on the houseboat one night.
Yeah.
And Maeve brought out this mayonnaise sauce that she'd made. What is it?
So it's mayo and Keen's curry powder, mate.
Yes, mix some curry powder in, mix it up.
Yeah.
And it is unbelievable.
I'm gonna ask them how they got it back in the bottle too, because I mixed it out of the bottle and then thought, there's no bloody way I'm getting that back in there. So, but yeah, I'll tell you what, try that if you haven't. I hope that's not some like secret recipe made from like, you know, all the way back to St. Patrick himself or something like that's supposed to be. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, a bit of mayo and Keen's curry powder, mate. Well, it goes unbelievable on fish.
It's perfect.
So yeah, made some wraps up. Yeah, got some stuff for the servo, and yeah, made some wraps up for lunch, mate. Yeah, crumb barra, mate. Fresh crumb barra.
Yeah, nothing beats it, really.
Curry powder mayo. Let he roll it up. Actually, I wasn't even going to make him any, but then Katie said, you better take some to Mikey. He didn't catch any barras yesterday he could bring home, so. So, yeah, and actually we took some to Big Pete too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Big Pete loved it.
Oh, he would have, for sure.
Yeah, he was just about to make lunch when Katie arrived there.
Oh.
So yeah, no, went quite good. And yeah, I've took a couple of photos and stuff along the way there, so we might be able to put a thing up so you can have a look, see what it looks like. It's been great so far. Heaps of comments on there, especially on YouTube and stuff. Heaps of good comments on there.
Yeah.
And thanks to everyone that's commented on there, because it does mean a lot. Anyone with any you know, sort of positive criticism or anything like that you want to put in there, let us know if. Doing anything that you know you think we could improve on or something, you know, don't be scared to put that there. Don't be a dickhead, we'll just block you. But no, any
Romney Brown.
Yeah, any Romney Browns there, mate, you're gone. Any comments that would be great, either on YouTube or on our Facebook page. And again, any good yarns or anything like that you've got, make sure you message us, send us a video, send us some pictures, whatever. Yeah, if you send us stuff through, we'll put it up for sure. So yeah, what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, what do you reckon? Shut it down, Bruss?
Shut it down, Bruss.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that!
Guys in the Gulf.